It's Tuesday, January 17th, and I am leaving tonight to come back to Portland to go home to my wife and our lovely little girl. I've been in country for 18 days, and it's a long time. I'm ready. I'm really ready to go home. By the way, Augusta Shipsy, I'm not wearing a hat in the house. I'm outside in our lovely garden in our office in Lima. This has been a long trip, and this has been a great trip. There's been so many wonderful lessons. I just got done with a run, and that seems to be the best time for me to sort of process information. Wait for the car to go by. I've been creating video logs while I've been here, but the internet hasn't been strong enough to be able to connect, so I'm gonna do like a short little recap. There's been 3 great lessons on this trip. I think the first is that changes are happening. The global world as we knew it is no longer the same, and that is really evident right now. You know, something happened last night that I think is a great illustration of that. We used to be in taxis together, and if a fancy car drove by, everyone would make notice of it. Well, last night in a rather nondescript neighborhood, certainly not in the wealthiest neighborhood in Lima, very expensive sedan drove by and nobody said anything. And I think that's just because there's so much economic change that's happened that we haven't even been aware of. And we can't even keep our focus on it. The next thing that I really realized is that building bridges means that you have to build responsible bridges. Culturally responsible, economically responsible, and politically responsible bridges. And that means making sure that you know who's on the ground working, that there's not some duplication of services, really trying to understand the totality of the environment and a full analysis of the situation. That's hard. It's crazy hard because information's dynamic and because there's so many organizations operating, but that's key. And I think the last is that whatever resources we were using to try and affect this global change, they're not the resources we need to create a future. The reality is that the economies of the developing world are so different now. And yes, they still need access to equitable markets for trade. There's still a need for global partnerships, but these markets have shifted so much and changed so much that the needs of developing worlds, middle-income worlds like Peru, they're just not the same. And in fact, on this trip I noticed that a lot of the challenges that we have in the United States around just sort of stuck levels of poverty, it's estimated that 14.5% of the US population lives in poverty. The same problems that we have in the United States, these sort of equity problems and parity of program distribution, they're the exact same problems that are starting to rear their ugly head in the developing world. And that means that the solutions need to be more creative, they need to be more innovative, and they need to be more collaborative. And that's the future we're finding ourselves in, and it's dynamic and exciting, and it means we've got to be working together. So this ends a video blog update. I'll be posting more, but thanks for everyone's continued support. We are so humbled by the people who continue to provide your resources and your prayers and your kindness to the work of HBI. Thank you.